Hello, everyone. Hopefully, y'all are having a good day today. I know that I am. I'm just so excited right now. I definitely had to do this video because I just had to share of how good God has been, to me and my family, and just how He just always is there. And so, I just hope that this video do encourage you and does strengthen you as well, and to just give you that confidence to let you know that you're not by yourself, that God is with you, and that He is your protector no matter where you at in your life, no matter whether it's a really tragic situation that you're facing, or you're in a situation where you may feel like you're all alone. Just know that God is with you and that He's there to protect you as long as you're in the will of God. And so I have a testimony to definitely just show how great of a God that I serve. And I just want to just take it back. Me and my mother and my stepdad, we had went out of town to visit some family over Labor Day weekend, and so we were just pumped because we are going to see some family that we haven't saw in a long time. And so as we got down there, and it was dark out. It was at night, and we were able to spend time with with them a little bit, with some of my family a little bit, and everything like that. And plans were we were going to go back to the hotel, and we were going to um, just continue talking and everything, reminiscing, catching up. And so it was later on that night around 11:30, and which I want to say this first. I'm sorry, y'all, but it was so funny because earlier that day, well, when we first got there, I was talking to some of one of my family members, and they was telling me that down there where they're at, they will rob you at the light. And so I was like, rob you at the light? What kind of mess is that? Like, how long do you got to rob somebody at the light? But he was like, yeah, they'll rob you at the light. And so, of course, you don't think nothing of it, like, wow. Um, and so later on that night, back to it being 11:30 at night, and me and my stepfather, we decided that we wanted to go down the street because we had to, do something, and for us to also come back to the hotel. And so we're walking out in front of this in front of the hotel lobby, and we're seeing how there is some commotion, not really commotion, but there's some activity going on. Um, and so we're just like, okay, don't think nothing of it. And so we get to our car, and we're pulling out. And as we pull out, we see a silver car get behind us. And so, of course, you don't think nothing of it because it's like, okay, your instinct, or you're not thinking that, okay, something's wrong with somebody, coming behind you. And so as we're approaching the light and we come to a stop, I noticed that, the guy that was in the silver car, there was four guys that was in the silver car, and one of the guys had got out, and he began to just stand while at the red light, and he's motioning for me to open up the door or to roll down my window, to do either or. And so I'm just looking like, what is going on? Why is this guy out in his car? And so my dad looks, he says, Jasmine, don't open the door, don't roll down your window, don't pay him no mind. And of course, I'm not going to pay him no mind anyway. I'm just thinking like, well, what kind of, what's going on? And so we're just looking, and we're just being, we're like, okay. And so it was so funny because the guy that was beside us at the red light, he was looking like, what's wrong with this fool? Like, what's going on with him? And of course, my dad took notion, I don't know. And so it was at this point where the red light turned green, and the guy that was standing outside the car, he gets back in his car with the other three men that was with him. And mind you, as this guy's at the car, he's like, open up your car. I'm probably looking crazy right now. He's like, open up your car, whatever like that, trying to be like aggressive, like, and we're like, no. And so, but back to what the man that was beside us in his car, he was like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he out of his car like that? And we're like, we don't know. He said, well, if he ain't careful. He held up his gun at the light and was like, I'm gonna get him. So we're like, we're not a part of this whatsoever. And so we're getting, as now this is all happening at the red light, and it just turned green. And so now we're heading down the street, and we notice, okay, well, the silver car is behind us still. And so it was, Dad was like, I don't know, I don't feel right about this. And it was as he was getting those feelings, he's like, you know what, let's go back to the hotel. So we decided to turn into a parking lot. As soon as we turned into the parking lot to go to turn to do a U-turn to go back to the hotel, I don't know if you ever seen like Fast and Furious. I think it was like Fast and Furious, like the drift. I think it was the third movie maybe. Um, but if y'all ever seen how those cars drift, like, or let's say a good example is Bad Boys when they're chasing, when the bad guys are chasing the good guys or whatever like that. Um, you see how you got the car like drifting, like turning so fast to catch up. Well, that was what that silver car was doing to us. And so this whole time I'm looking in the back like, oh my gosh, this car is really coming after us. And so my dad was like, oh no, they're trying to rob us. That's what it is. They're trying to rob us. And so with me, and like I was like, okay, look, it's time to pray. I'm going to get before God right now. I'm not even going to waste any time. And so I just start praying to God, and I'm calling, Lord, send Michael and your angel Michael, send your angel Gabriel. God, I need you to just stand the gap. And I'm just up here praying and everything like that. And so I know that these guys are getting some, they're getting close to us. And so my dad, he's like gun, he's flooring the gas pedal. And so this is all happening like, we're just right down the street. So this is like happening like so fast. And so Dad said we're going to have to pull in front of the hotel lobby. And so as we pull in front of the hotel lobby, the lobby doors weren't open because of course it was 11:30, so they locked theirs at a certain time. And so as we're pulled in front of the hotel lobby, we couldn't get out the car because the silver car, he had came where we were, but except that he was on the side of us. And I would say he was probably maybe about 15 feet from us. And the guy got out of the car again, and he's making, making get out the car or whatever like that and everything like that. But it was like God had a wedge between to stop him from going where we were, to stop him from ambushing our car, getting to our car. It was nobody but God that kept that distance between us. And so this whole time I'm still praying, and I'm up here trying to use my phone to call my mother to let her know that, look, you need to start praying. I don't know what's going on with this dude. Like, he's trying to do something, but we praying. But one thing about it is that my phone would not get no type of signal. And I'm thinking, like, this is not like my phone. Like, my phone, it works. But then again, when you have AT&T, I don't know. But so my phone, I'm like, oh my gosh, this phone is not working. So I'm just like, okay, God, I have to totally depend on you. And so I'm just still praying. And my stepdad was like, okay, we're gonna have to drive to the back. Not to the back, but to the side of the hotel. And so as we're driving to the side of the hotel, we like flooring it, driving to the side of the hotel. The guy hurry up and gets in a silver car as we're pulling off from the lobby, and he's, going back there as well. And we're like, okay. And my dad kept saying, Jasmine, we're going to have to get ready to run. Like, no time, we have to get ready to run. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, Dad, get closer to the door. Like, we had a good, maybe about 100 feet from that door. And so, at least that's what it felt like, because it's of the moment. So it was like, I was like, Dad, no, we have to get close to the door. He says, no, we don't have no time for that. He said, any sudden movement could trigger anything. We don't know if these guys have guns. We don't know. But he said, you just get ready to run. So I'm thinking like, okay, God. And it was just so funny how it all worked out, because too is that the security guard came out and he's like, what's going on? And so we up here getting his attention. Look, they're trying to rob us. We are in danger. Call 911. And so the security guard gets on the phone. And this whole time the guys are just making, doing their thing. But it was like God had put they couldn't do anything. Like, they couldn't move close to us. And so we're praying to God, and I'm just like, okay, God, and waiting for the security guard to give us the okay to, start running. And so the security guard was like, okay, they're on their way. And he's yelling out, the police is on their way now, to kind of throw off the guys. Well, it was like that didn't even budge those guys. And so me and my stepdad was like, okay, let's just go. So as soon as he said go, we start running. We're just running. And we go up these flight of stairs. It was like 8 flights of stairs. And so we were like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe like this is really happening. It was nobody but God that had me fall. Because if anybody know me, I am very clumsy, and it takes no time for me to fall. So it was just nobody but God that had us. First off, to be able to go up all them stairs, and two, for us to be able to make it in safely, because we ended up making it in, and my stepdad went back out there to see where they were, and just so happened they left. And I was just in that moment, it was just like, oh my gosh, like God, you really kept us. And I can just even go back to at that moment when I knew that, or my dad knew, and he let me know that, look, they're trying to rob us and they're chasing us, like they're coming after us. But when he told me that, and even before that, I wasn't afraid, I wasn't fearful, I wasn't scared. God had gave me such a peace because I knew, God, you are with me. You are protecting me. You are keeping me. I don't have to be afraid. And I began to just stand on that like, Lord, I'm not going to allow this right here to cause me to doubt you. And I'm just in that moment, and I'm just like, God, I'm not afraid. Why am I not afraid, God? I have peace, which all that time I already knew that, look, God, you got me. And so God just proving himself to me that night to let me know that, Jasmine, no matter where you are, whether you're by yourself or you're with somebody, but just know that I am protecting you and that I am keeping you no matter what. And just with that, I'm telling you, when God said that he is your protector, when he says that, he will lift up a standard, especially in a time of need, and when he says that as long as you are dwelling in him, that he is your safety, trust me, God means if he said in his word, that's what it is. He's a God that does not lie. And so he just proved himself to me that day. And I'm just overwhelmed with just such just a happiness. It's like, oh my gosh, God proved himself to me once again. And a lot of y'all may know my testimony. You may not know my testimony, but I'm going to go ahead and share it from before of me going through fear in my life, like a manic depression, and I was like paranoid. I was afraid to go outside. I was afraid to go inside the store because I was afraid that somebody was going to try to pursue me or kill me, and it was just a time in my life where I had to basically just prove my love for God and just let him know that even in that time is that, God, I'm going to trust you. And thank God that I am delivered, set free, and he helped me to God allowed me to just overcome that manic depression, that fear in my life, and it was nobody but God. So when I look back at this, what happened in Labor Day, just to know that, look, God, you have delivered me from fear, and now I'm going through this, and God, you have equipped me to even be ready to even go through this right here, where I don't even have to be fearful of this situation because I know and I'm confident. See, that's the thing. You got to be confident in God. You got to trust God. You got to have faith in God and know without a shadow of a doubt that he's going to keep you, that he's going to protect you no matter what it is that you are going through, no matter what it is that you are facing. And so I wanted through this video, I wanted to share my testimony of how God protected me and my father, as we were going down the road, almost about to get robbed. And I just want to let y'all know that if God can protect me and keep me and my family, I know that he can with you. And just looking at what's going on in this world, looking at what's happening with ISIS and with how they're trying to, come over here to the US, and just a whole bunch of chaotic things are happening in this world. As long as you find yourself in a safe place, where is that safe place? That safe place is in Jesus Christ. If you have given your life to Jesus Christ and you are living this walk and you are forming that relationship with him, trust me, God says that you are going to be kept, you are going to be provided for, you are going to be protected, you're going to be strengthened, even in whatever time, especially in these times. He says that he's going to keep you, he's going to cover you. And so I just wanted to just tell my testimony and let y'all know is that God is alive and well. And if you don't have him, I guarantee you got to get him, because he will definitely not fail you. So thanks again so much for just listening to me talk about the goodness of God. And I just pray that you all have a blessed day today. You just stay encouraged.